All right, we are back. We are back. This is the CSRN weekly video minutes. This is our weekly podcast where we come to you and talk to you about some of the things that we've done last week, the things that we're working on right now, and some of the things that we got coming up in the near future. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronouns he, him. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. 7 years ago, they had this plan, Mike and Jabril did. of being able to speak truth to power, and having it come from other than politicians, preachers, pastors, the usual suspects whenever we want the powers to be spoke to. However, they decided that just normal, regular people, that they could put something together, a really big tent that anyone that loves humanity, loves our people, that they can come and speak. We had an event at this was back in 2014. There was an event at the Frederick Douglass Center addressing police brutality in 2014. And we were very successful with that. Subsequently, we had a protest at the Lucas County Courthouse. That was when Darren Wilson did not get indicted for the killing of Mike Brown. Right after that protest, we met at Kent Branch Library and kind of, talked it out. What we went, what we, what went well, what could have been improved on. And here we are, 6, 7 years later, still continuing to push back on those leaders and those people that are in charge. And also, along with, we met some awesome people along the way. We started meeting at Kent Branch Library in 2014. We met at Mott Branch Library at one point. We met at Muhammad's Mosque number 91. That's the Mosque of the Nation of Islam. We met there for quite a few months, and that's where we organized the first Black Lives Matter Day. After that, we found our space at the Padua Center. That's 1416 Nebraska. Then the pandemic hit, and everything went virtual. And hopefully, we're going to get back to having in-person meetings. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter, Injustice or Else. Now, usually, you would see either Jody to my left or to my right, Ruth, Julian, and others. This should be on the podcast soon. We're going to have them chime in on some of the issues that are going on in the city, some of the anniversaries that we're having. One of them is May 30th of 2020. We had our Toledo Police Accountability Rally right there at the Jackson and Erie at the corners of the Toledo Police Department. And we were protesting or bringing some awareness to the behavior of police that um, that that hasn't changed since then. So May 30th is coming up. We're discussing what we're going to do to commemorate the uprising in 2020, and we'll keep you posted on that. Another thing that we do is we have our mission statement that I'm going to read soon. We also have our guiding principles. That mission statement, if you ever decide to put together a grassroots organization, it would be wise to have a mission statement. That gives you your what and your why of why you're doing, what you're doing. And it kind of keeps everyone grounded. So what I'm going to do right now, matter of fact, let's take a short break and we're going to come back with the mission statement. Then we'll go right into our guiding principles. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back. This is Brother Washington Muhammad, CSRN's weekly podcast. We call it our video minutes because when we were meeting in person, we really didn't subscribe to Robert's rules. And what we did at the end of the meeting, instead of someone taking physical notes, we would have a cell phone and a tripod and sit the person in front of the tripod, uh, cell phone, and ask them to just go over some of the things that we talked about. If we were planning a protest, if we were planning a political forum or uh, food or clothing giveaway, let everybody know that couldn't make it to the meeting physically. This is what we did. And here we are, man, a couple of years later into the pandemic, and we're doing our video minutes like this. So it's our podcast. What I want to do is I'm going to read our our mission statement. And I'm trying to get my words right. I didn't give you like two put our mission statement up. This is our mission statement. Nope, that's not a mission statement. This is our mission statement. It says that we are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive community-based events that help to foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politicians, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed, class, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. This is our mission statement, and just some context to where that came from. Before CSRN, I was the program coordinator for an organization called Self Expression Team Theater. And within Self Expression Team Theater, they had a mission statement. And we patterned, along with Yvette Muhammad, she helped format this. We patterned it after the mission statement of Self Expression Team Theater. Obviously, there's different words and everything, but that kind of gave us the foundation of how things were going to be worded. Who are we? What do we do? And what do we want? So, big thanks to Sister Yvette Muhammad for assisting in developing our mission statement. That's a little known CSRN fact. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to read our guiding principle. Well, what's the guiding principle? These are the things that keep us together, especially in moments of great trial. Just consider this. Before there's an event disruption, we disrupted the Martin Luther King annual celebration. I think that was 2015. We wanted to bring to light that the city of Toledo's and the University of Toledo's depiction of Dr. King was off. And we needed to talk about other things than um, the how would I say this, integration based thought of Dr. King. He was much more than that. And we went to the planning committee because I was in the middle of the planning committee, and they had thanks but no thanks. So we had to decide how we were going to disrupt it. So in order to do that, we had to create the right environment, the right mindset, and because of our guiding principle, we're really able to do things and stay together. These are our guiding principles. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, or working class Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe. And Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe. Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe. Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe. Principal struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe. Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe. 360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe. Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe. The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe. Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe. Family, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back. I think may have Julian in the green room. Take a short break, come back. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. We'll be right back.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
All right, we are back. We're back. This is the CSRN weekly video minutes. This is our weekly podcast coming to you live. Hey, one of the things that I failed to mention, and we're going to check in with Julian in a second, is what am I wearing? Just in case that you're visually impaired. Hey, you're like, what is this guy wearing? Well, today I have on my glasses by Optical and Twix in between. So if you know our sister Christian Moncrief, check her out. She has that bus that's a actual optical center. Step in the bus, look at the lenses. I mean, look at the frames that she has. She does everything that any other place could do. I'm not going to mention any of the other places, but I can't mention Optical. I can't mention Christian Moncrief. And I have my Buy Black shirt on today. It's fashioned like a Best Buy tags blue shirt, yellow tag, but instead of saying the other name, it says Buy Black. Hey, look, let's bring Julian on. I think he should be ready. All right. Hey, how you feeling, Julian?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, brother Washington?
All right. Hey, it's just you and me. That's what's up. Hey, listen, for anybody that's watching right now, just put something in the chat. Let us know that you see us live, and that's Julian. That's what this is. We don't go back and edit it and then upload it. This is live, and it is what it is. So, if you could you introduce yourself?
Mm-hmm.
What are you wearing? In my one of my process questions for the activist culture and protest community, what keeps you in the fight? So who you are, what are you wearing, and what keeps you in the fight?
Yeah, my name is Julian Mack. My preferred gender pronouns are he, him, and bruh. I'm wearing two chains, right? The first, which says gratitude. I believe attitude of gratitude is necessary for the proper perspective in life. If we're missing gratitude, we're missing a lot. And then my other chain is solidarity fist, which is often associated with movement work. I am wearing a shirt that says dream like Harriet, dream like Martin, lead like Harriet, fight like Malcolm, think like Garvey, write like Maya, build like Madam CJ, speak like Frederick. I'm not going to take my shirt off for y'all. Educate like W.B. Du Bois, believe like Thurgood, and challenge like Rosa. And that's as far up as this shirt is going.
That's what's up. All right. I still got to have dinner later on. That's right. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then,
yeah, why are you still
I'll just highlight, I got my little Black Lives Matter earring in.
Drip alert.
Yeah, I got my Black Lives Matter earring in, and I have a semicolon on the upper right corner of my right ear, which symbolizes when the author of my life could have stopped the sentence, but instead it was a pause, and it kept going, referring to my mental health struggles, and I'm still here today and a survivor of that.
For you, why are you still in the fight? Because I've seen in 30 years of doing this work, I've seen a lot of us come and go. I've seen a lot of fast starts and slow finishes, flash in the pan. Man, what keeps you grounded and what keeps you in this fight, brother?
Yeah, I feel just really connected to this work, right? This work is it's like my home.
Yeah.
This work has saved my life. And I just feel so connected to it, right? This work and all the work that I do directly around it is in many ways like the centerpiece of my life. And in a very real way, right? Like I work on stuff, and CSRN has found a way to lead me or open doors for me to work on issues or things in society in a larger context that have directly impacted me. Right? Sometimes we look at uh, the work that needs to be done in a very kind of antiquated way, um, but fix what you needed fixed when you were younger.
That's
Be
right.
who you needed when you were younger. And that's, I think, addressing the issues uh, that have intimately plagued us individually and could have allowed for greater progress in our own individual Black lives is what um, are the bridges that so clearly need built. You
That's
know,
right.
um, it's not on anyone else to theorize and tell us what we need. And as it says in our guiding principles, we are experts at our own struggle and should be in leadership, right? The work that I do with CSRN and beyond is connected to the struggles that I have in my life, and so what else should I be doing? I mean, really,
Yes, sir. Yes,
what
sir.
else should I be doing as opposed to uh, fixing some of the institutional and bridging the interpersonal gaps that I need in my own life and that have helped me become a better person.
All right. Now, we've got a couple of things that uh, we want to discuss today for the podcast. One is Juneteenth that's coming up. All right. And what's going down at Smith Park at Mott Branch Library. And also, we have a 2-year anniversary of the May 30th uprising. That was our Toledo police accountability rally. And we're in talks about, okay, what that's going to look like. We may not process it all because I don't even know. So those are the types of things that I want to process or we want to process today. But before I even get to that, I've seen you in the news in my news feed quite a bit talking about fathers. All right.
Mhm.
And especially at a time when it appears that men should already have this stuff together. So why are we talking about dads? Why do you think it's important to discuss the roles of fathers and also improving our connection with our children?
Yeah. So first, I'll say I think one of the in the same. All right, here we go. In the same way that a lot of white people don't realize how racism fools, especially the poor white person, into a false sense of security. I think many men and fathers fail to see the connection of patriarchy to many of the barriers that we have to overcome. Uh, a lot of times as men, right, we're told to throw some dirt on it, get up, walk it off,
Yeah, suck it up.
suck it up,
Be a man. Yes,
man,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
And uh, we, I'll speak generationally,
Come on, teach.
have done a poor job at healing and have passed on and repeated generational trauma. And that's due to, like I said, the right the patriarchal impact of manhood, right? Where uh, if we are unequal and put ahead then all of a sudden our, the strength that I think is real in us and is a true asset becomes how do I say this? Almost I want to say like cartoonized, but like that's not the right word for it. But like it becomes there is a symbolic portrayal of it that isn't always accurate to where we actually are in our own life. And so what we end up doing is acting out strength in a performative way, as opposed to doing the things that we actually need to do to be strong and there and present in our families, right? And addressing some of the things we need to do internally to be in the space externally as we should be. And so being a father is being a specific kind of man. Now that can happen in many kind of ways, right? But it's very important that we show up in our present in whatever way, shape, and form that can be as fathers. And it's and given, right, some of the barriers,
Okay.
dare I say, that institutional and interpersonal that exist in our culture and society, sometimes many men have found it difficult in finding the way for them to best be present if they're not in a
Right.
if they're not married to their partner,
Right.
if they're not married to their co-parent, right? There's some barriers there. I've run into them myself, and it's caused me to fall short as a father myself. And so part of that is realizing, right, what are the barriers I'm running into
Yeah. Good question.
interpersonally and institutionally, right? This can look like not being able to get your license because of child support, right? This can look like this can manifest itself in a lot of different ways. Feeling inadequate, right, as a father due to not being able to land quote unquote a good job,
Right.
Which plenty of sociological factors and race factors and geographical factors play into and can work on your perception of yourself as not being an adequate provider, right? When there's insufficient educational systems that exist that create those barriers that exist. Okay. And so, I'm blessed to do the work I do right now, where I work with other fathers. And this is why I can't be on here too. I have a hard limit of no later than 6:44, right? Where I got to get out of here.
Well,
because I'm working with some guys at VOA. But I want to say that being a father is very important, right? And highlighting fatherhood is very important. Working together as a community to help fathers, to help fathers, right? Because how rare is it that we hear those two words in the same sentence, right? Help and father, and so and don't even get me started on help Black father, right? I think it's the first time I heard that, right? But being intentional about that, right, is really important when we talk about the things that we have control over, that we have dominion over. When we talk about the self-determination that we can create, that we have to create the world that we want to see, I think there is a certain amount of power that we have to create that in our own home. right? And it's that's not to say that it's not a struggle. That's not to say that there are institutional and interpersonal barriers, both of which I'm very familiar with. But that's something that we can do and is in our grasp. Maybe, yeah, yes, I'll say
All
that.
right, look, I've got you on to 644, which is awesome because I think that we've got Mother Diane Gordon coming on, and also we have hopefully the staff and young people from Mystery Music. They're organizing their summer cooler right now, and they have rehearsals all over the city. They're bringing a lot of the young people from different schools together. So hopefully they chime in during their practice, and this is going to be a first that we have a guest that they're going to be chiming in while he's working. Hey, listen, we've got Juneteenth coming up. All
Yeah.
right. This is going to be the 18th of June, Saturday, noon to 4 p.m. And right down there, where at the bottom, you've got so many people, so many sponsors that have come to be a part of this. And hey, you were the first that tipped me off about this either late February or very, very early March.
Yeah.
And Julian, sometimes people think, well, why y'all planning now? Y'all have no idea when we start thinking about things and when we start
Yeah.
planning. All right, so for you, we got 4 minutes. Why is it important to even celebrate Juneteenth? What would you say
I'm
to
specifically about this Juneteenth, right? This Juneteenth celebration is going to be his. Look, man, you can learn Black history, you can watch Black history, or you can become Black history, right? Participating in this particular Juneteenth at this particular location is an exercise in making Black history, and I'm gonna tell you why. Yes, all over the diaspora, in the entire world, it is significant. And this particular last year's Juneteenth was very significant because it became recognized as a federal holiday. There are some good and negative parts that comes with that, as we see with the memes floating around about buying into a corporate ice cream and you know, and the performative aspect of that. Versus supporting actual Black businesses, which actually help Black lives and build Black futures. But this particular Juneteenth is a revolutionary event that is creating Black history locally. Okay, so we have our freedom. So much goes into fighting for freedom, but what happens when we get it? What happens the next day? And what are we using it for, right? And so what we're doing is highlighting our health and our families, specifically our health and our fathers and our families on this particular Juneteenth. So we're working with our wonderful partner and who I work with, Brothers and Sisters United, to engage fathers, to create space for fathers and children to play and correct and connect them to resources for their relationships to thrive and not just exist, but to thrive. We want to connect fathers with the resources to eliminate any barriers they may be having or running into as fathers. Oh man, my computer's about to die. All right, and we want to hold up 1 second. There it goes. Sorry. I got to turn on this thing. All right. So we want to connect fathers with resources so that they can thrive and eliminate any barriers that they may be running into. In addition to that, you know, think about what do we have? Who are we as free people without our families and without our health? Right. One of the things that we don't talk about enough is prostate cancer, right? Specifically pertaining to Black men, right? My grandfather, who I never met, my mother's dad, died of prostate cancer, and there's a stigma, right, of us not wanting to tackle that, or men fearing the testing.
Right.
And so one of the things my fraternity, the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, which has been around here in Northwest Ohio as a Black institution since 1937, has done and has taken the lead on is a prostate cancer screening to help identify that. And I plan on getting my first prostate cancer exam on Juneteenth this year. So that because identifying it is really key, towards prevention. And even at 37, right, that's something that I do need to be aware of.
Right.
And so the other key to that is I bring up on here quite often, right? I'm an overdose survivor, and I often think of what would y'all be doing had I died from that overdose, right? I would hope that y'all would do some sort of Narcan training so that the next person may live.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm alive enough to make that happen. And so I help push for us to not only do the prostate cancer awareness, but to add Narcan training and CPR training to that, so that we can save lives out here. That's really, really important, right? And as fathers, as men in our community, we always are trying to just walk it off when sometimes we may need some help in healing on the outside and on the inside. So there'll also be some connections and resources for mental health experts there as well. But it is a wonderful time, right, to be alive and to organize. And this is going to be, like I said, a wonderful history-making event, right, where, yes, there's going to be some serious things that can seriously help and change your life and push it forward and in a revolutionary way, right? But it's also going to be a lot of fun, right?
That's right.
Celebrating our freedom with our people in the middle of our community and our neighborhood. So we want to see you there at Mott Branch Library on June 18th. Right, there's some wonderful things I'm working on right now, right, just to make sure it's incredible, like bouncy houses for the children and all kind of stuff that I was just working on today. So I'm doing my part, right? You make sure you do your part and be
That's
there,
right?
And eat up all the food, all the food.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we're talking about being healthy, but go ahead and be a little gluttonous with the food. We want to see you smash up and be full that day too.
That's right. Now listen, I know you said you had a hard 6:44. We're at 6:46. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the work that we do because the movement now is decentralized. Nobody can claim that they are the leaders. The leaders, whoever's doing the work.
That's right. That's right. And as we, I'll just end with this. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of talk about Kendrick Lamar, right? And I remember in 2015, right, when Kendrick Lamar, and we were at the Movement for Black Lives convening, and "We Gonna Be All Right" was essentially the anthem of the movement at that point in time, right? And I think, just as Brother Cornel West kind of will talk about the evolution between like Duke Ellington in jazz all the way up to Miles Davis. I think you can juxtapose that same type of thing with the movement work. If you look at To Pimp a Butterfly in 2015, to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers that just dropped a little over a week ago.
Yes, sir.
And it highlights the works of Eckhart Tolle, right, who talks about the presence of now and how to be present. All throughout the album, right, you can hear the internal work that Kendrick Lamar has done and is doing, and what it feels like to be able to caring about people, wanting to protect your family, surviving generational curses, you know what I mean, and still standing there. And what does it mean like to take ownership of your own internal story and to do the work to heal yourself? And I think a lot of people that have experienced the trauma and the difficult things of movement work since 2014, 2015, right? Or have had to enter a space of healing, you know what I mean? And that it's had to be intentionally done. And so I really like highlight that work, highlight that art. And I think that art is representative of a lot of the work that is being done internally and externally for those that are trying to heal. And lastly, like, how can we heal our community if we don't heal ourselves? Right.
That's
So
right.
we just have to be intentional with that. And with that, I really have got to go. All right. I love y'all. All lives can't matter unless Black Lives Matter. Justice Sorrells, peace. Long live Mike Brown. Long live George Floyd. Trayvon Martin, forever.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
Yep.
Thank you, brother. Hey, listen, family, we're going to take a short break, and we thank our brothers. We thank our brother Julian for chiming in. Hey, listen, this is the CSRN Video Minutes. It's our weekly podcast. We'll be right back.
If you can ride a bike without falling, then you're good to go. Bike Rides Matter, it's a community bike group. We get together for fun, fitness, and fellowship. We ride weekly. Right now, we got a Tuesday ride where we ride on the UT Trail. We do Saturday right here at Uptown Green. That's our glow roll Saturday night. It was something I was already doing with my daughter, just riding bikes, and we just decided it would be cool to add the community because we were just finding ways to make fun given the situation. Being that everything was closed down and options were limited, bike riding is one of those things you can do without any restrictions.
You get to make new friends and just like interact with people, especially during COVID. You still like have your mask on and stuff, but it's still good to like see people.
It's a cool way to stay fit. We talk while we riding, we got music while we riding. I've met quite a few new friends and new people. I made some real cool connections throughout the city. Take advantage of the time you have. Take advantage of this pandemic. I know it's a lot of restrictions, but you can be creative and find new ways to have fun, one of which is this right here.
All right, we are back. We're back. This is the CSRN Video Minute. It's our weekly podcast. We just had heard from our brother Julian Mack, and what I wanted to also talk about who's all involved in the in our Juneteenth. And I was trying to bring up the flyer from my phone so that I could talk about it. Give me 1 second, family. It's a lot more difficult than I thought. All right. Some of the people that are involved, I wanted to mention the fraternity, Omega Psi Phi, Brothers United. In reality, Brothers United and Omega Psi Phi, they had started this process of coming up with the idea of not only celebrating Juneteenth, but making it be about something that's going to enhance the lives of not only the people that are there to recognize that we are completely free to unite and do something for ourselves, but also bring others that are involved. The Neighborhood Health Association, I think that's our sister, Donnie Miller, is going to be involved in helping to bring information regarding mental health and physical health. We also have our brothers and our sister teachers from King Elementary that have property just adjacent Mott Branch Library. So for that parking lot and some of the property, we may be using part of that that space in King Elementary. And our brother Willie, the principal, has given us more than we could need in order to help this Juneteenth be successful. I also wanted to mention educated activists. That's going to be a summer program where we're going to be enhancing the lives of a lot of our teams to be able to speak truth to power and make a difference in our community. Also, ProMedica and, of course, the Toledo Lucas County Library are involved. State Farm is going to be involved. First T is going to be involved. Lucas County Mental Health Board, and of course CSRN are involved in this. And if you go to our page, grab our flyer, download it to your phone, and share it, and put a caption along with it. Save the date, or I'm going to be here. Make sure you're there. And Julian talked about some of the things that we're going to be doing on that day. This is June 18th. So you have a little bit less than a month to really make it a part of your schedule to be there. We've got first aid and CPR training that's going to be available. We're living in a time where all of us need to be able to save a person's life, and just some basic information could help you do that. Prostate screening. Julian said that he's going to get his first screening on that day, and I challenge all men. I had my first screening, I think maybe my early 40s, and I had my first colonoscopy early 40s, and every 5 years I go back. Just recently had my last. Still having no problems, because early detection is really important for us as men. Narcan training. I keep Narcan in my car. You never know when you could save a life. There's going to be a scavenger hunt, smoothies, food, and more. This is Saturday, June 18th, 2022, noon to 4 p.m., Mott Branch, Smith Park. You cannot miss this. It's going to be big. We're going to do it big this year. Before we do anything else, I wanted to go over slowing it down a little bit. I wanted to go over our Kwanzaa word of the day. This is from the Nguzo Saba, the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. And we like to celebrate Kwanzaa 24/7, 365. And our Nguzo Saba, or our Kwanzaa word for today, is Imani, faith. And this means to believe with all of our hearts in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders in the righteousness and victory of our struggle. So we thank Dr. Malana Karenga for coming up with the process and the teachings of Kwanzaa, that we can actually have our own holiday that was made by us. Next up is our podcast. If you ever wanted to help us with our podcast, let's put this on the screen. This is how you assist us: via Cash App, via PayPal. That Cash App is #419. The PayPal is paypal.me/CSRN419. That's how you assist us and help us do the work that we do. And also something that just happened recently in the city of Toledo, bringing up the Lucas County Library. This is, don't want to put it on Sister Aretha's face. This is our free hotspot from Lucas County Library. In early March, we saw Gutter Dave post this, that come and get your free hi-fi. I think that was the post. And of course, I was kind of cynical about it. Well, if I come up there, they're not going to give it to me. All that silly stuff that we say. Hey, and that could be me sometime. So I challenged myself to go up to Kent Branch Library and inquire about it before I get the words out of my mouth. The guy that was present behind the desk, he got it. This is 5G, 10 gigs. Our entire podcast runs off of this. And check in with your library. They may have some left, but we've been promoting it. They've been going pretty fast. free Wi-Fi if you're challenged with Wi-Fi at home. If you got children but no Wi-Fi, this is a great way of bridging that gap, bridging that information gap. Also, before we go any further in our program, I like to bring up some of the people that really makes CSRN happen. You see Julian, you see myself, and you see Ruth or Jody. But these are the people that have really made CSRN free, unbossed, unbought, bold. And I want to mention our NAACP Toledo branch. So big thanks to Willie Perryman, the president, Anita Madison, Mike Alexander, and there's so many more members of the NAACP Toledo branch that assist us in doing what we do. So big thanks for them. Pastor Real Estate, our brother Rob Pastor, formerly of Pastor Real Estate, but he's moved on to do some other things. But during the time that Pastor Real Estate was in existence, whatever we needed from Brother Rob, he would show up and assist us in whatever we needed. Jobs with Justice Toledo, we want to thank them. We want to thank St. Martin de Porres, the church right there on the corners of Bancroft and Detroit. You'd have no idea where the revolutionary people dwell. And I want to really thank Sister Jenny Welch and the staff and the parishioners of St. Martin de Porres that assist us in doing everything that we do, along with the staff of the Padua Center, which is where we meet for in person. When we start meeting in person, that's where we're going to meet. I also want to thank our brother Terrence Pound Sr. Of the Truth Global Ministries and Vapor World. He was one of our Black Lives Matter recipients. And not only that, he helps us tremendously whenever we need assistance for whatever. He's always there for us. The believing staff, laboring staff at Muhammad's Mosque number 91. That's the Nation of Islam in Toledo. The brothers and sisters have always shown us love, compassion, open up the doors to their meetings, and allow CSRN really to get its start right there at Muhammad's Mosque. So big thanks for the Nation of Islam in Toledo. Dr. Patrice McClellan and her work as a life coach. Dr. Tracy Perriman and her work as Center of Hope. Dr. Hope Bland and all the things that she does. REH System Solutions and the Toledo African American Chamber of Commerce. We thank them for helping us with our last candidates forum to give us some guidance and some questions for afterward, because usually we have a forum, and after that we need to be able to follow up. So big thanks for the Toledo African American Chamber of Commerce. That kind of put some heat on us. Hey, look, if we assist you guys, what are you guys going to do? So we're keeping our word. The Frederick Douglass Community Association, or other effectively known as the Doug. These are the organizations, and there are many that have really assisted us in helping us do what we do. One of the things that we want to do now, we want to shift from talking about those that have helped us to talking about the prison industrial complex. I think that we're getting a call right now from our brother Omar Gent, calling from Colorado Correctional Institution. And let's bring him on the phone now. Brother Omar. Hey, wa alaikum salam. Thank you. Let me get my sound up. All right. We have you on the podcast. Brother, first, thank you for calling in. This is our brother Omar Gent. He has freeourbrothers.com. We're going to put your website on the screen too. So before we even get there, for the people that may not know who you are, who are you, and why are you still in the fight?
First and foremost, I thank the Creator for bringing us all together. Thank you, my good brother, for inviting me on. My name is Omar Jeremy Chint. For those who don't know, I was born May 6, 1984. Who am I? I'm just a warrior, a simple man. I won't say simple far as just remaining humble and rooted in the legacy of the ancestors and rooted in this struggle. To me, that's just simple. It's what I have to do because I'm in a spot where there's no knowledge of self. A lot of disunity, the Black community resistance is not strong in Colorado. So what keeps me coming back, my brother, is your beautiful platform allows me to reach beyond this wall of silence and isolation. And even though I can't see the people, I get inspired by knowing that they can hear me and I'm touching people and able to get my message out. So thank you all.
Oh, and thank you. And last week, just to recap, we had your father on, Brother Lamar, and we talked about he laid it out, his background. He laid out his credentials. And the beautiful thing about that, most people with half of those credentials would fear reprisal and blowback and retribution for speaking the word so boldly as he did. What was it like for you being on the podcast with your dad there?
It was a new experience. Usually it's always this me and other people, me, you, and other people, but to have him on, to hear him, and just to sit back and smile, because I joke with him and tell him that my speaking voice is better than his, But just to sit back and have him on, and to have him share his take on what incarceration, my incarceration has done to him, it moved me, and because he opens up more of himself when other people are, asking questions and stuff like that.
Right.
And it's just beautiful to see that and hear that.
Well, it appears that you definitely have a friend in your father. And most of us have never had a father as a friend, at the same time. And it was just awesome to hear that. Hey, listen, also, please forgive me. We also have our brother, Jody Summers, that's coming on. I know that you have limited time, and right now he has limited time too. Let me check with him real quick. Is it okay, Brother Omar?
Yes, sir.
All right, Brother Jody.
You're good. I got 23 minutes.
All right. Okay. I'm going to get right back to you. Okay.
Yep.
All right. See, this is Brother Omar. This is live. So we're not able to go back to the lab and edit and clean it up. Hey, it is what it is. One of the things that I wanted to ask you, and then I'm going to bring on Jody to give us our 5 minutes of heat. 3 things that being a part of the movement, how has that changed you? Because I did some background on Omar, early Omar, all right, and hey, you was not to be messed with, all right. But there's been some changes. Can you give us, if you don't mind, brother, please, 3 things that the movement has done to change you? How have you changed being a part of this movement?
Man, first and foremost, to be honest, years ago, man, over like 8 years ago, I remember it was a brother that came. He was I think he was from up north, from New York or something like that. But he brought me the wonderful, powerful, inspirational Final Call newspaper, and I always just see those newspapers stacked up in the room. And one day I was just like, let me read one of those papers. He's like, you sure you want to read this?
Yes, sir.
I was like, yeah, brother, you know, and I read it, man. From that point to just read page to page, just the different teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Minister Farrakhan, man, it's the power of those divine special men and the challenge that they put on me to break away from that mind state of this selfishness and this being this aggressive, far as fighting everything, not knowing what you're fighting, and teaching me how to just stand for first and foremost myself as a man, my God and our people. That really changed me, and then looking around and just taking the Minister Farrakhan's words, Elijah Muhammad's words, looking around, the powerful articles in there for various peoples and the struggle with the wonderful sisters and the brothers, and they're saying, wow, man, I have to apply this to my life. Then you look around where there's so much illiteracy and this hopelessness and drug abuse and self-hatred and disunity, and you put it all together slowly but surely. And then I was just like, you know what? From this point, instead of being angry about all this time I have, in the wrong way, far as arguing with these police and being in their face and thinking militancy means fighting every battle but aimlessly. Let me stand up for something that's real and true, that's just bigger than me as a black male, bigger than Omar. Let me find out the truth. So I began to read this research law, and that's when I found out the information that freeourbrothers.com reveals. And then once I took that with everything from the Minister Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad was teaching about, especially understanding the language and the tricks that the enemy of the rise of our people employs, I had to stand up. I was just like, I just asked myself a question: are you going to just allow them to do all this to you and not make a stand? And I couldn't stomach that. Like, you always just fighting before, you always making noise before, but fight for the right things. Not just for your pride or ego, but fight for your future, your family, and your people.
All right. Now I've got Jody on break, but I wanted to ask you this, and then I want to bring Jody on. All right. We know that for every action, there could be an equal and opposite reaction. And we were talking about your website earlier, whereas as soon as you step out there, you think you're going to get greeted with a ticker tape parade, but it ends up being the exact opposite. Okay. How do you handle opposition? How do you handle rejection? How do you handle difficulty? All right. What are some of the things that you do to rebalance and reset? Because this work is an ongoing work, Brother Omar, and it don't stop. I feel like Puffy. It don't stop, can't stop. All right. So what are some of the things that you do that keep you grounded in doing this work?
Well, first and foremost, I have to make sure I'm staying grounded with the Creator and listening to Him. Spiritual reflection. Reading the Quran and the Bible, and especially that Final Call newspaper. When you look at what the ancestors been through, and they've been tested, way more than us. The great men and women, they've been tested, and some of them died without seeing the realization of their efforts. So when I come into this struggle, when I came into this struggle, I realized I was under the assumption that once I made the website, with the way the world is structured with the internet and everything, I was going to be able to put a few tweets out and have a big, massive army. That has not been the case. But once I started reading books like The New Jim Crow and various books about how black men are seeing black people, and thinking to myself that we're uncared for people, and a lot of people dies. So you can't unrealistically expect people just to jump up and come to your aid. You got to educate, stay strong, and then celebrate yourself when you do make connections like I did with your beautiful platform. Give the Creator the praise, but celebrate, hey, you stayed in the fight long enough, and now look, you working with Brother Muhammad and the beautiful CSRN team, so that's been, you get your encouragement, you get your, when you look at, it's not just the setbacks or the pushback, look at the positive things. It's more than that, and keep going.
All right. Hey, speaking of keeping going, I know that Jody has limited time. Let me bring Jody on.
I am on.
All right. Well, I wanted to
So,
bring you on a double on a split screen. Hey,
I
listen,
noticed the blue light just a second ago.
hey, listen. We got brother Omar on, so if you could say what's up to brother Omar.
What's up, brother Omar? Good to hear your voice as always.
Hey, salute, brother. How you doing? Salute.
Still
Yes,
alive, still alive.
yes. Well, today, of course, normally we would have 5 minutes of heat, brother Omar, closing. And after Omar and after Jody, I think we got Mother Diane Gordon coming on to talk about the liberation quilt that they're going to do. So, when it comes to 5 minutes of heat, Jody, what is it that inspires you to write, and what do you have for us today? And I know you don't have a lot of time, neither does Omar. So I hate to be pressing you like I press Julian.
uh, well, first let me introduce myself. What's up to the people watching out there, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth. I'm the treasurer of this wonderful organization that continues to fight and continues to exist, no matter what we're faced against. Um, for the people listening at home, I'm a big brown skinned bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones and places that I've experienced because of my art and my books. So that's just a little background on me. I'm at work right now, so it doesn't matter because I can take a break and I am still present and visible. Awesomeness about me. Okay. So because I know we have a lot of other things going on, and hopefully I'll be able to join you live in the studio again. I don't know when that might be because we all know worker shortage is bad, but hey, still be present.
Yes, sir.
Um, So, quick update before I read this. This piece is called Forgiveness. It is number 26 in the Childhood Trauma series, and that one's almost complete and a whole bunch of stuff. But this weekend, if you would like to be in your part in Toledo, Ohio, part of something, a movement for change or anything like that, we have the 419 Save the Music, Stop the Violence Fest at the Ottawa Park Amphitheater, the 28th and 29th. That's Saturday and Sunday of in Toledo, Ohio. So shameless plug done. And this piece is forgiveness. I think I got a motorcycle coming, so I'm gonna try and get over here a little further away from the noise. They're over there. All right. So everybody, let's begin peace. Forgiveness. Oh, and that's my hat. I hope that you heal. I write this piece in hopes that somewhere on the whispers of the wind it reaches you, to that person that told me I was too much and didn't have time to communicate. I hope that you heal. These words come directly from someone who survived after being abandoned, left, and struggled to find their balance without you. To all my exes, past friendships, old jobs, people that left me on red, I hope that you heal. I am no longer mad, tormented, upset, depressed, or traumatized, just traumatized at the thought of you. I found peace in knowing whatever damage you did to the person I used to be, I grew to be stronger without you. I hope that you heal. I no longer stay up endless nights crying over what happened, worrying about what I did wrong, detached from the reality because I couldn't figure out what was broken after so much time spent, how it couldn't be fixed. I've dealt with all the self loathing and understand our puzzle piece, yes, our puzzle pieces weren't part of the same picture. And no matter how hard I tried to fit you into the vision we saw together, our destinies was to be apart. To the person that might pick up these words and reminisce on the memories we shared together, however brief or long they might have been, I hope, yes, I hope that you heal. This is not an invitation for open conversation, but a statement, yes, a statement that I must make. on my path to finding my own forgiveness for a situation I should have never, no, never been involved in. I hope that you heal. I thank you for the growth. And no matter how painful the situation might have been, you make up some of the random chapters of my life that pushed me to move forward and stop looking back on situations that don't deserve my energy. This poem is not about you, but the shedding of a person that was weak, yes, weak for you, at a time when I should have been strong for me. I've grown, adapted, and evolved. So I write this piece in hopes that somewhere on the whispers of the wind, it reaches you. I hope that you heal and found acceptance in yourself without manipulating someone's joy to feel real. In peace.
All right. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. And as we always, we don't clap, we snap our fingers. I want to thank you, brother. I want to
Yeah.
thank you, Jody, for sharing with us. That was on time, us taking responsibility for ourselves, and hope that
Yep.
others are healed and do the same.
It's a long process to finding forgiveness. This one has been 26 pieces, but it'll be all over the place. I have another chapbook dropping this Friday, and me, you, everybody else. I know we got something planned for the 30th, May Day. So hopefully, we'll get a chance to talk about that soon.
All right. Thank you, brother.
I got 10 minutes. I'll be listening for a
All
moment.
right. Bring. Sorry about that, Jody. I'm pushing you out. Hey,
Get on out of here.
no,
Make me
no,
cry.
no.
Still.
Let's bring Brother Omar. I want to thank you for being here with us, and we had kind of went over some of the things that have changed you about the movement, and I wanted to get back into that conversation with the time that we have left. Some of the things that you do to rebalance. Hey, look, being a confined citizen is enough, but now you're adding on movement work to your situation, and you talked about prayer. You talked about doing some meditation. Some of the other things, if you don't mind, brother, that bring you back balance, being where you are and dealing with what you're dealing with.
Yeah, like the brother just read a beautiful piece. It's very important, forgiveness. Once I became incarcerated, a lot of people just turned their backs on me, family, friends, and people I never done wrong. And being so far from home, I'm out here in Colorado, very far from Florida. A lot of people just act like you don't exist no more. So when that happens, it's a.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
So in the 60 seconds, I would say I had to learn to forgive and just, embrace that, you got to let things go. And that's very wonderful. And I would say, please follow us. Go to freeourbrothers.com, sign the petition, and please go to Instagram at Free Our Brothers, and follow us and answer the call to action.
All right, and with the last 30 seconds for everybody that's watching this podcast, you see the website up. Free Our
You have
Brothers.
30 seconds remaining.
Okay, I know we had 30 seconds.
We
got
skills up, brother.
Hey,
I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Much love and respect,
you
brother.
gotta forgive them, huh?
Hey, that's all right. Hey, that just give us more strength, brother. That just give us more strength.
Yes, sir.
So everybody, Revolutionary Greetings. Check out his website, and we'll talk to you soon, brother. Hey, Jody, one of the things that we did process earlier, some of the potential of us acknowledging the Toledo Police Accountability Rally. All right, that's what we called it then. So that's still in the works right now.
Okay.
Whatever that's gonna look like, you know. But I think that we are in a really good space, a really good place right now to review Toledo police, and also to review the state of Black Toledo as a whole. And what's our next way forward? Because sometimes we can't have the police against us and us against us.
Yeah,
You know,
everybody against everybody.
right, right. So, and as we say, all lives can't matter until Black lives matter, and all Black lives have to matter, and all of us have to be in this fight, Jody,
Right.
for
You can't
justice.
be backbiting each other because your program looks better than mine online, but yet you don't have students. It's just photos. I don't know. I think because you were asking him a processing question about how do you get through all of this? How do you sift through every time somebody gets online? Where are the leaders? And you're like, I'm helping a family. It's take as much as you can. And nobody has to be everybody's hero or savior. People are and should be allowed to pick the things they champion. We, for instance, have our thing with the police. We help out in our communities as best we can, but our thing is the police, not Pookie that just killed Craig, because we'll be there, we'll do as much as we can, but there's no law we can fix to stop Pookie from killing Craig unless we fix why Pookie killed Craig. And I know I'm being kind of stereotypic or whatever, but that's the reality I see every day. I live directly in the projects. I may have all these titles and get seen all over the world, but I live in the projects, because how am I supposed to fix something if I'm going to criticize where I don't even live? I'm getting called back.
All right.
Message me. We'll talk. I wish I could say longer. Love you to all the people that might be watching right now. Hopefully, I'll see you in the studio soon or at one of these rallies or marches if you're more than just a keyboard warrior.
Yes, sir. That's right. Yes, sir. Much
All
love
right.
and respect, brother.
Yep.
All right. Hey, listen, in the last few moments of what we're doing, I want to bring up something. Let's see. That's happening this Saturday. Let's put it on the board. Hey, listen, Mother Diane Gordon. I don't want that on there. All right. Here's what's happening, family. It's right over my face, but it's all good. Hey, listen, on Saturday, this Saturday coming up, May 28th, from 12 to 2 p.m., there's the Libation and Liberation, the Quilt Project. This is a free community healing workshop. And why is Mother Diane Gordon doing this? And why are we supporting it? Because this is in remembrance of those lost during the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. We lost so much family during that time. I've lost brothers who are members of the mosque. I've lost family. I've lost friends, and you'd be hard pressed to find anyone that the pandemic did not directly affect. So we want to remember those. So I would like for everyone to participate in the Quilt Project. It's going to be a healing workshop to talk about how to heal, and then we're going to take a lot of the memories that people have, and we're going to put it into a quilt form. This is happening all over the United States. It's part of the Juneteenth 3-day celebration. So Toledo, for the Toledo Kwanzaa House, Mother Diane Gordon, and all of those who are involved, this is another way that we keep Juneteenth going 365. It's not just for after Christmas and at the beginning of New Year. we can really have Umoja, Kujishagalia. We can have Ujima, Ujama, Nia, Kuumba, Imani. We can have all of those principles and practice them 24/7 every day of the year, from the beginning of January to the end of December. So if you can, that's the flyer. We're going to probably, most likely, we're going to post this on our page too. Don't know why it hasn't been posted already, but it should be. This is the Libation and Liberation, the Quilt Project. Come on out to the Frederick Douglass, May 28th from 12 to 2 p.m. So, Mother Gordon, if you're watching, I know we had some technical difficulty in getting you on. I don't know what it is, but it is what it is. But I'm going to ride for you as I always do. So come on out. May 28th, not June 28th, May 28th, May 28th, 12 to 2. That's Frederick Douglass Center. Hey, listen, as we close, let's get that. Bam. Hey, we're back. As we close, we want to thank everyone for being a part of what we do. I was mentioning earlier some of the people that have helped CSRN be as strong as we've been. I mentioned the Frederick Douglass Community Association. Who I didn't mention was Reverend Dr. Donald Perryman. If you know Dr. Perryman, you would have no idea. In times of great crisis, I give him a call. Dr. Perryman, hey, we're going downtown and we're going to protest in front of the Toledo Police Station. Brother, can you say a prayer for us? Can you give us some guidance? And he does that. I want to also lift up Empowerment for Excellence and our brother that leads that charge of that organization that helps with substance abuse, mental health. So thank you, brothers and sisters at Empowerment for Excellence. I want to thank Eden Garden right there on the middle of the block, 300 block of Boston Place, for assisting us, Kwanzaa Park neighbors, and of course, the Toledo Kwanzaa House. You know, as we close with our solidarity prayer, our solidarity pledge, where we pledge to strive to love our brothers and sisters as we love ourselves. If we can't love us, nobody else will. So why don't we start to love us first, to pledge to strive to study to improve ourselves spiritually, mentally, morally, and physically for the benefit of ourselves, our family, and our people. Family, we have to study. We're talking about why we vote. Well, you're going to have to study. We're talking about changing our diet. We're going to have to study. Recentering and rebalancing. We're going to have to study to improve ourselves. I was told that self-improvement is an inside job. And before we point some fingers at others, we may have to improve ourselves too. All right. The pledge to strive to be a part of the solution, the process, and not the problem. A lot of the things that we want are not going to happen overnight. Somebody had taught me or told me once, if you want to plant a tree, do it 30 years ago. So lots of things that we do, there's a process. It's a long game, and we understand that. But I don't want to be a part of the problem of always criticizing everything that people do, because you just can't. I should have said something other day. You just can't. But we got to be a part of the process, be a part of doing the work. And lastly, just the pledge to strive to give all that all you can spare of your time, your strength, and energy, to achieve the above said. So yes, we talk the talk, but we process it and walk the walk at the same time. So family, come on out on the 28th of May to the Libation and Liberation workshop, and join us on the 18th of June for Juneteenth. And this is being led by not only CSRN, but Omega Psi Phi. Brothers United, and a host of others. So as always, all lives can't matter until Black lives matter. And Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. Justice or else, peace.